Okay, here on Record Collector. Later tonight, Canadian speed metalers Anvil are playing at the Islington Academy. And it gives me great pleasure to be here in the company of Lips. Hi Lips, how are you?
I'm good.
And this tour, in promotion of Hope in Hell, it's like 2 years ago since you've been here, so it's been quite a long world tour for you.
Yeah, well, we started out at the beginning of the tour here,
That's right.
And we're ending it all here. So we've been out doing this for pretty much 2 years straight. So it's been a good long haul, great experience. Been everywhere. I mean, literally everywhere.
You have been everywhere. And what's been the highlights for you?
Oh, geez. Highlights, Y&T. Played with Y&T at the Fillmore West. Fucking amazing.
Obviously old friends of yours as well.
Well, no, we were supporting them.
Yeah.
And they're amazing. They're so cool to us, you know. Dave's wife Jill she's such a wonderful person, man. I mean, Dave's a great guy too. But, you know, she's the one who really, okay, you know, she saw the Anvil movie and she became friends with us a couple years ago, and then we kind of said, we're out doing a tour in the States. What do you say we do a couple shows together? She said, sure. And she got us the show at the Fillmore. We went and did it. It was amazing. 100% sound check, whole 9 yards. They even let me go leave the stage and start the gig in the middle of the Fillmore. So I'm like, stand in the middle of Fillmore. Hello, San Francisco. And you can hear my fucking voice coming out of the PA, coming out of my guitar rig. Yeah. It's like, holy fuck, man. Wow, is that loud.
But obviously there's one special concert you did, and I imagine it was the first time you ever played there. You was guest of Metallica in Singapore.
Right. That's another highlight from the Hope and Hell run. Yeah, we were in Singapore and we opened for Metallica, which was amazing. Of course, but very interestingly, when we got there, we were in the change room and we're kind of just getting ourselves sorted, and all of a sudden, Ross Helfand walks in, right?
Yeah, the photographer, yeah.
And he starts in, where's your homosexual guitar player? Goes up to Rob and he starts giving me fucking stick right away, right?
Not that kind of stick.
So he proceeds to tell us, you know, I knew you were here, that's why I come look for you, but I just told the guys that you're here, and they thought you're playing a pub nearby, and they're going, let's go watch them. He goes, no, you don't have to leave the venue, they're opening for you tonight. And then they're freaking out. So, you know, we got together, and of course, a really amazing, I mean, I haven't talked to James since 1983, right? So that's a long time ago.
And they personally invited you, I believe.
What's that?
They personally invited you.
Oh yeah, we met back in '83 with the Old Bridge Militia. If you know what that is, it was an area in New Jersey. Johnny Z.
Yep, he was the
had brought
manager,
Metallica, and they were all staying at our friend Joe's place. And we had just happened to be down at the same time, and that's when we first met. And we came down with a copy of the Forge and Fire album, and they just had Kill 'Em All. And we swapped and we listened to each other's records and had a good time that day and all that. And I hadn't seen them again since.
Wow.
It was pretty out there, you know, and it's like, wow. And it felt like we just continued the conversation from 35, 40 years ago. Here we are now, but we're all...
So what goes through your mind? There you are, you're in Singapore for the first time. You're guests of Metallica. The last time you saw them, they were young teenagers, spotty teenagers, and here they are now, they're massive millionaires playing in front of thousands.
Yeah, and they're so really down to earth. To them, it's like we're from the same world, so you never got the feeling like, hey man, we're big rock stars and you're just little guys. It was nothing like that. It was with huge respect, mutual respect, you know, that's a good thing. Nothing wrong with that. just amazing experience. And what was really interesting, a week later we get home back from Singapore, and the Metallica movie, the 3D one,
Yeah.
had just come out, and it was being debuted in Toronto.
Your hometown. yes.
Okay, so James is walking along the street in Toronto, and Rob's son is up on a scaffold doing some painting. And he looks down and he yells, "Hey James, wait right there, I'm coming down." Lowers the scaffold, and James is just watching this guy. He goes, "I'm gonna stay here, I gotta see what the fuck." This guy really acts like he's really desperately wants to talk, so I'm gonna see what he has to say. And of course, Tyler goes running up to James and goes, "I'm Rob Reiner's son." And James goes, "Oh my fucking God, I can't believe it, man. I was just with your dad last week." What? This was fucking unbelievable. It's just, you know, so that, yeah, just some really weird stuff with that.
And what does it mean to you when bands like Metallica and Anthrax and Annihilator, they've all mentioned to me before how much of an influence you were to them. What does that mean to you?
Probably what it means to the Deep Purple guys when I say, "Hey man, I lived and breathed your shit." You know, and it's funny because that goes into the conversation that I had with Lemmy in Birmingham in 1983 when I'm sitting with a big bottle of fucking vodka and we're drinking away and I'm going, "Lemmy, you don't know what it fucking means, man. This is the fucking moment of my life. I'm actually drinking with Lemmy. This is unbelievable." He goes, "Lips, let me tell you right now, mate. In 20 years from now, there's going to be another bloke sitting across the table saying the same shit to you."
That's happened many a time.
And hey, he was right.
And let's talk about the current tour. And you say it's finishing in England this week. I know you've got 2 more dates. You've got Bang Ahead in Germany, then Metal Days.
Right.
Last night you played Masters of Rock in the Czech Republic. Massive long drive all the way back here, but yesterday you was playing in front of thousands. And in the movie Story of Anvil, there's that infamous clip of you live in Prague, in front of no more than 50 people. There's an argument with the promoter at the end, "Where's my money?" Are those days long gone? You're never going back?
No, those days are never go away. Because no matter who you are or how far you've gone up the ladder, you're going to always find a gig or 2 or more. No one shows up. It's how you do business. It's business. It's like if you owned a store, let's just say a hardware store, just as an example. There are some days no one walks into the shop. Are you doing something wrong? Is your tools no good today? They were good yesterday. It's exactly the same thing. Not every show, not every city, there's not really 100% consistency. It's just the way it is. Monday night in Poughkeepsie, New York is not going to be a great fucking gig. Let's face it. You know what I mean? It's a Monday night.
How would you attack that? Say you do go out and for some reason it's been snowing outside, there's nobody turned up.
And yeah,
how do you attack that gig? Do you still give 10 out of 10 for the people who are there?
Absolutely. Give it everything you got. Because those people, they went through hell to come see you. What are you going to do? You give them everything you got because they're just as important. They're just as important as if the room is full. Every night is important. That has to be 100% consistent. A very important aspect is if you think about what happened with Anvil, with a guy like Sasha who made the movie.
Yeah.
Had we not been 100% that night, had we not let him into the change room to talk, there would have been no movie.
That's very true.
It's just, you have to be consistent with the way that when you're out there, period. There's no excuse. And let's face it, it doesn't matter if there's 100 people, 10 people, 1,000 people, 10,000 people, Metal on Metal is still the same song. How do I play that and not feel it the same way every night? It's easy to do that. It's the same. I'm with the same blokes on stage, same guitar, same amp, same voice. Do it. You know, and that's not a problem. So giving 100%, it's what I do. That's what you do when you play. So
well, that's exactly what you do, and that's why the fans love you. And one thing I must ask you, which is very unique for Anvil, is that every album title is always 3 words long.
Right.
And the first word, the first letter matches the first letter of the third word.
Yeah, right. That's alliteration, right?
Alliteration, thank you. You took the
Right.
words out of my mouth.
And you're the one who's an Englishman, and you don't know that. Come on.
And where did that idea come from? Was it, you know, did you just realise on 2 albums? Or?
Initially, when we first came out, of course, the first album was called Hard and Heavy, but it was under the moniker Lips, right?
Yeah.
And the label went, you know what? The name Lips does not work. It might be good for you personally, but it's not going to fly for a band. Everybody's going to think you're Horse Lips or Lips Incorporated doing Funky Town, right? You're going to be mistaken for a disco band. We need a name that's going to best describe what you do and what you're about. Go home and think about it. So Rob comes up with the name Anvil, along with about 100 other names that have all been taken since. And there are lots of bands that, I mean, a lot of names that we came up with became bands as time went on.
Would you like to name a few?
But as soon as we said Anvil, and we realized, well, we called the album Hard and Heavy. That works perfectly. Yeah, we're going to go with that. That worked so well. And then when after the first album came out, it was time to write another album, I played the riff from Metal on Metal. And I go, that sounds like it's saying Metal on Metal. And then that's fuck, yeah. That's what we'll call it. And then we went, what? We'll call the album that. And that became, okay, cool. The next album was, well, what are we going to do now? What are we going to call the next one? And oh, well, Anvil's always around the forge. You know, okay, Forge and Fire. But then it became, well, now it's becoming a tradition, right? And it just turned into a tradition, and we just followed it through. Now, it seems really simple to do that, but it's not simple because you've got to come up with artwork, and it's got to be something that ties in, that you know it's musical, or musical band, or has something that it's tied in with Anvil itself, that it's tied in with the band, tied in with the music. It's still not that simple. You know what I mean? You could call an album Pass the Pickles. That's not going to work, right? You know what I mean?
Tension in Texas.
Yeah, exactly. Chicken in, right. Testicles in Texas, you know, whatever. A lot of the literal. So it just became a thing to do. But it always has to tie in with the artwork. Very, very important, so that the artwork works with the title. So as time is going on, you know, we've come up with 15 of them so far. I'm sort of an in-between place. I want to tell you the name of the next album, but part of me doesn't. I don't know. But
we don't have to get the game away yet, but that's a good thing. There is another album in the making.
Oh yeah, we're going to go in and we begin recording in October, and we're going to do this album with Martin Pfeiffer, who is Udo Dirkschneider's producer. We're going to go for a different production again this time. And there'll be probably 14 songs. And yeah, we're just about ready. We're going to start in October.
And obviously there's a new bass player in the band, Chris Robertson. Tell us more about him.
It's not that new. There's a whole lot. When Glenn left, we were faced with an emergency. So we called a friend who lived down in the States, down in New York. That was Sal. Now Sal, nice guy, everything fine. Not the right guy though. He's just not the right guy. So, and the distance was a real problem. So much of a problem that we had to hire somebody in Toronto just to have rehearsals with. So Chris became our rehearsal bass player for well over a year. He was rehearsing with us every fucking day, and then we'd take off and go do a tour and leave him behind. And here's Sal playing what the other guy was playing, and it was feeling really fucked up to me. I'm leaving this guy at home, and I'm going with this guy that I never see. It's like, what the fuck? It was weird. And we had to we're writing songs. Sal's not there to write songs. That's why we have the bass player. We need somebody at least to be playing so that I can hear the songs, so I can construct songs. So Chris kept on rehearsing with us, and we finished the first leg of our American tour, and we were a year ago today, we went and played Headbangers Open Air. I said, okay, I called Sal, okay, I'm going to buy the airline tickets here for, July, and let's get going. He's going, no, I'm not coming. I said, okay, no problem. Got back to rehearsal. Chris, you're coming with. I go, sure, I'm in. And it's been like that ever since.
Fantastic. And will he be playing on the new album?
Yeah, and he'll be playing all the new stuff, yeah.
Brilliant.
So he's been with us for 2.5 years.
Oh, fantastic.
Only a year that the public knows about him, but he's actually been playing with us for 2.5 years.
Brilliant. And it's good to hear that you are doing another album. I'd just like to talk about your own personal interests in music, actually. What was the first record you ever bought yourself?
That I ever listened to or bought? Beatles' Rubber Soul.
Oh, really?
Maybe, I guess probably the first rock album I ever got into and that was brought into the house that my older sister got it as her 16th birthday was December's Children. The Rolling Stones' December's Children.
Yeah.
It has Get Off of My Cloud, Route 66. And that was like...
And do you still have a large collection at home? Do you still have a large collection at home?
No, I don't really bother with my collection. There's no point. Everything's on the computer, so there's no point. And if I want to listen to something, I get a yearning to listen to something, I just go to YouTube, type in what I want to listen to, and there it is. So you don't have to, where's that fucking album? Where is it? You don't even have to do that anymore. You just have to type it in, and it's coming out, and you're blasting out on it.
But what other bands was you listening to when you were younger?
That's like the mid-60s, right? So what was there to be heard in the mid-60s? In as far as guitar music and that, because I mean at 10 years old, in 1966 is when my dad brought the guitar home. Mm-hmm. So that's when I started. That's when the light came on, and I knew straight away. I mean, really, straight away, this is what I'm doing for a living. I mean, I'm going to, this is what I'm doing for the rest of my life. My little brother thought I was out of my mind. In fact, he still does, but that's another story. But what was there to listen to? There was, the Stones, the Animals. I even had the Herman's Hermits on tour album.
Oh, wow. Great band, actually. Very good band.
With Mrs. Brown, you've got a lovely daughter.
Yeah, very London record, that is.
I guess the British wave of the first initial British wave was what I first initially began listening to.
And you're from Canada, and here in England, we know sort of the 80s artists from Canada, like yourselves, Rush, and Loverboy, Aldo Nova. Is there any other Canadian bands you can recommend to us here in the UK that we might not be aware of? Especially bands from the 60s and 70s that we should check out.
Thundermug.
No, maybe it's something better for you.
Thundermug. Fucking amazing. Years. First albums in the early 70s. Fucking killer hard rock. They were sort of like the Who. Their vocals were very Who and Beatle, but fucking really heavy. Like really heavy. Like, wow. no one knows who they are.
No, no. I think it was Rob Rayner who told me about them.
Yeah,
I checked them out.
really,
Yeah, they're fantastic.
really brilliant, man. You know, of course, I'm a huge April Wine fan. But the Brits knew about April Wine.
The older Brits do, but not so much the younger Brits.
But they're one of my. That's actually my all-time favorite Canadian.
Oh, really?
band,
Oh, wow.
is April Wine.
Oh,
Yeah.
people out there, check them out.
And in the last 2-3 years, we've become really good friends.
Oh, wow.
Which is an amazing.
Yeah.
That to me, that's like an achievement.
Have you performed with them as guests or anything?
No, not yet, but it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. You know, they have a lot of respect for us, and of course, the other way around. Of course, they're a little bit ahead of us in age, but Miles is a terrific guy, just a really, really good guy.
And I don't think I've been to England in years. I think it must be
No,
80s,
they don't.
I think. Yeah.
They only tour Canada.
Yeah, well, tell them to get their passports out.
The occasional show in the U.S. But you have to understand, April Wine is like like status quo art to England.
Yeah.
Okay? Literally tons of top 10 hit singles. It's part of the fabric of Canadian radio is April Wine. I mean, you go to their show and every song you've heard on the radio for your whole fucking life. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, you gotta love it.
Lips, it's been wonderful talking to you, as always. The album Hoping Hell is out at the moment, and we look forward to the next album, which will be out next year, we hope.
Well, the next album will be called Anvil is Anvil.
Marvellous. You can't get through it, innit?
That's making a statement, let me fucking tell you.
We heard it here, folks. Anvil is Anvil.
Yeah.
Lips, it's been wonderful talking to you. All the best for the future.
Okay, man.
Cheers.